that Apple's main competitor is perhaps Microsoft. It used to be. And maybe even in more modern times that the main competitor to Apple is Google. And that's partly true. But I would actually argue that now with the fusion of hardware, software, and content on mobile, that the real competition to Apple is Amazon. And so we're going to see if that plays out when this device starts shipping in November, right before the big holiday season. So one of the downsides of Amazon and Apple controlling all this content is we still have to push either our books or our apps onto these native platforms and into their own markets or app stores, right? So remember how I talked about how there were still some shortcomings about how some of this works. And remember how my own evolution about how I was initially excited about mobile for native app stores, but then I quickly decided that I wanted to get into mobile web because that was easier to get out there. But there's still the challenge of trying to marry content that has value with more accessibility. So one of the challenges that I offer, given the background that we've been looking at, is that someone needs to look at how to design a web app store, because we need a better way to get web standards-based content out there and retain that value. We don't necessarily want to just go with this freemium model that kind of tricks people into something free and then we might sell them on something later. Now, the reason why I think that a web app store has to be developed is that we do have a few ways of getting content out on to the web and sell it, right? But usually the most common way to do that is through a paywall. New York Times is trying to do it. The Boston Globe, even though they have a great